Good afternoon, everybody. Today we are going to discuss Unit 3 and Unit 4. And Unit 3, Innovative Language Learning Strategies. What do you mean by an innovation? An innovation can be defined as an improvement, something new, something that did not exist before, something that is new in a specific context, and all of the above combined. Any of the above, but only when successfully implemented. And in language learning, innovative initiatives are essential for making the language learning a pleasurable one, an interesting one, and a successful one. So, an innovation is a novel one which did not exist before. And when we can say it is new in a specific newer context, and all the above can be combined as an innovation, or any of the above may be included, considered as an innovation, but only successfully implemented. Innovation has importance in its practice, and when we think about innovations in English language learning, there are certain items are there, or innovative initiatives are there. In school education, you know, in almost all schools, there are English clubs. Veteran English teachers lead the English clubs, and efficient students are also in all schools who lead the English clubs very well. Let us think about which are the activities that can be implemented through English clubs. They can celebrate, the English clubs can celebrate English Day celebration, one day in 1 week. A lot of activities can be done under the leadership of English clubs. They can organize expert speech, innovative interventions in language, online tutorials. So many innovative, contextually significant activities can be taken up, and it is as a part of English club activities. Teachers, 2 or 3 language teachers in a school can lead, and English clubs can share their activities, their performances, their products, everything online for excellence, sharing of excellence, and it will be made use for the successful learning of other students in other schools also, or in other districts, even in other districts, even in other states also. Another innovation under English language can be English Fest. In almost all schools, they conduct 1 or 2 days of English Fest. Here, there may be exhibitions. Performances are there. Exhibitions of portfolios of students, their creative work, children's literature. Apart from this, they can think about performance of the students, various performances, sketch, role play, and they can even develop the scripts of these sketch or performance courses. They can arrange, as a part of first, they can arrange so many activities, the interviews, other performance, like I told you, skits, role play, drama, a lot of activities can be taken as a part of. English Fest is actually a platform for the students to share their excellence in learning language with the parents and the general public. And we know that today in our schools, every activity is shared to the general public. And of course, society has a craze towards English education, and they are so much interested in the performance of students in English. They believe that it is actually the sign of excellence of a school. So English Fest and English clubs are innovative practices that can be attracted a lot of parents, a lot of general public to the school. And of course, our schools in general stream should think about conducting English Fest as a regular practice in schools. And it can be conducted once in a term or twice in a term, as the case may be, as the what we call the support from the parents, support from the principal, chief committee, headmasters, everything, and SRG, SSG, all the teachers association, students association, take part. They can support. There are a lot of experiences in the so we collaborate with the teachers, SMGs, they are conducting English Fest and they attract general public a lot. Another one is reading clubs. The major objective of reading clubs in a school is to improve the reading habit, inculcate the reading habit, and reading clubs can make use of or make age as well as their field of interest. So reading clubs can organize various activities like reading review, everything. And another reading clubs. In this is not bringing our bringing our parents and the public to the school. They can provide books to the schools, and we are constituted. We have constituted class libraries in almost all schools, and reading clubs can take initiative for making this class library in a more effective. Share the materials for parents, mothers, to improve reading clubs can be a lot of innovative activities under their leadership. Another important thing is this is also a responsibility. The material has done and read it. And it is also an interesting activity. Another one is in this context, especially in Corona COVID period, language broadcasting radio. In many states, creative discourses through broadcast. And certain teachers also conducting radio broadcasting. Teacher association can make use of this broadcasting radio and collaborating with the nearby school. The students can share their group, their speeches, etc. through their audio products through broadcasts. And language broadcasting radio will facilitate the speaking skills of the students and performance skills of the students. Another innovation under language learning is language laboratory. And in all diets, there is language labs, and we are familiarized the teachers with the I am Guru application, and they can make use of the language laboratory for developing their own skills. And language lab, there will be a master system and other systems connected to this master system. And there are facilities for recording the language used by us. The learners can and can make corrections. It will improve them a lot. For us, it is a provision for self-assessment. They can listen their voices and make correction. They can improve their pronunciation, etc. It is a two-way process between the listener and speaker. They can speak, they can record, they can listen to their own voice, and they can make corrections. Everything they can do. So it is a very innovative possibility device for improving the speaking skills, listening skill of the students. But teachers and children can make use of this lab for improving paralinguistic features of English language. So these are the major innovative ideas which can be used as a part of innovative strategies of learning a language. In language lab can be set up. Now it is not so costly even. If ETAs and SMCs are taken care of, and in the what we call in the present context, there are well-equipped high-tech classes in almost all schools, and they can easily set up language lab as a part of their high-tech education, high-tech classrooms, high-tech ICT lab, etc. It's very interesting one. It is a very important, contextually significant device or facility for improving the reading and speaking skills of the students and the teachers and even parents. And the parents are cooperating with the school authorities. We can make use they also can make use of this language. These are the major areas included in the Unit 3, Innovations in Language Learning. And next is Unit 4, Critical Appreciation. There are certain major concepts to be bear in mind. Critical appreciation. What is critical appreciation? What does it mean? Critical appreciation of a poem, critical appreciation of novels, short stories, and other literary discourses and talk show. These are the major concepts included in the Unit 4. Critical appreciation of a poem, novels, short stories, and other literary discourses and talk show. Let us analyze the areas in detail. Comprehension is there, in-depth reading, a meaning process, and finally we want to make our learners critical readers. Moreover, we want to make our readers independent readers. So critical reading is there, creative reading is there, and we want to make from the very beginning then we can do what's actually the deepest understanding of a material. The author has very significant thought in a text. And when it is released in the form of a text, it becomes the asset of the readers. The text is now owned by the readers, and it is their right to read it creatively, critically, and develop their perspective. Actually, reading should develop to a level of appreciation. Receptive skills, listening and reading. These two skills should be developed to the level of creativity. And creativity is actually independent reading. Our motto is to, I told you, our objective is to make readers independent readers. Told you, any text has a thought behind it, and the reader reads it. And the reader can develop his perspective by reading this material. He can understand the perspective of the author, and he compares the perspective of the author, and he tries to interpret the thought contained in the text in his own perspective. Then only a reader becomes an independent. Clear? I think it is very clear. Any text has the author's thoughts. The reader will read it. He interprets the thought contained in the text in his own perspective. Developing perspective, creative reading and critical reading are used. We read many news dailies. Dailies. We read Malayalam Manorama, we read Deshavani, Vikshanam, Janayogam, Janmabhumi. All news dailies we read. And we are sure that if the titles even reflects the dailies. So there, even the statement of the text, the style of the is really analyzing the text, and we can develop we can understand the perspective, we can develop our perspective based on that author's perspective. So when we think about critical reading, first of all, we should identify what is author's thesis and purpose. This is the very important thing. What is his perspective? And we analyze the structure of the passage by identifying all the main ideas. Major ideas will be there, and elaborations of each idea will be there, and we must analyze the structure of the passage in the reading text, identifying the all main ideas. When you are reading critically, there is no provision for missing any idea. So we must identify all main ideas. Then, of course, there will be some unfamiliar words, quite natural. And you consult a dictionary or encyclopedia to understand. And now, to your Google dictionary, everything on your fingertip. You can make an outline of you text the total outline of the work. Can you write a description about the idea that you got reading it, and write a summary of the book. The purpose is to be informed with the academic perspective and that orientation, and being presented clearly, accurately, it is very important. You are analyzing the material with these indicators: clarity, what the author is present, author has presented. Clarity is there, accuracy is there, cohesiveness is there, coherence is there, and I told you the author has a thought. Logical reasoning and contrary evidence. He, he must have tried to make his vision clear, make his perspective clear through this material. And you must analyze it critically, logically, look for the evidences. And if you got the evidences and the reasoning is there and the determine how emotions are affected. By reading this material, how emotions are getting affected. Another important point is I told you the author has a definite definite is and for the readers, what are the and the majorly the other use. The styles, names, devices, everything should be analyzed critically. The style and language, everything should be critically. Now we are coming to the critical appreciation of a poem. It can be defined as a critical reading of a poem. Critical reading of a poem. The meaning of its words, its rhyme scheme, the speakers, who is the speaker of the poem, or the narrator, figures of speech used, the reference to other words, the style of language, the general writing style of the poet, etc. How read creative of these particular, and we are familiar with the style of the speaker, the style of language that he uses, everything we are quite familiar. And with that kind of very well. A critical appreciation in a better understanding of the poem. Don't have a better understanding of the poem. You cannot appreciate it. So you you analyze, find out its meaning, the reference to other works, etc. Then only you can go deeper and deeper and deeper to the depth of the point. Help in a better understanding of the style. Now let us analyze in a sequential order. Of course, some components, and we, when you are writing first of all, you go to say the rhyme schemes or detail such areas because you might have got all the detailed classes. The rhyme scheme of the poem. tone of the speaker is very important because the tone represents the emotions. The tone of the speaker is very important. Which kind of emotions the speaker has? What is his emotional status in the beginning, in between, at the end? This is very important. The tone of the speaker. And the style of language used in the poem is very important. The language style, because we know that what is a poem. The language style is very important. And figures of speech used in the step one. Step two, you must know about the narrator or the speaker and his style. The title of the poem. Title has very, very significance, importance as far as a poem is concerned. Because even the title attracts the readers to the poem. Derogation, I'll detail it. Corrugation, purpose of writing, movements, etc. When we are going to analyze critically a poem, we must know the emotion of the speaker, style of the speaker, title of the poem, derogation, corrugation, purpose of writing, movements, etc. Let us see in detail. I told you about two words. Derogation. What is derogation? The literal meaning of the words. What is actually the word literally means? It helps to get the basic idea of the poem. I told you the theme, the major idea the poet wants to transform. And the derogation is actually the literal meaning of the poem or the words used in the poem. Corrugation, the ideas invoked by the words. This is very important. That they have a deeper meaning which conveys a message or universal truth. This helps to understand the central theme of the poem. For example, in the poem or to the central idea is quite different from what it may seem. So, any poem has the literal meaning as well as the ideas derogation and corrugation. It is actually the person who writes the appreciation, he may think about more about the interpretations. And it is actually the corrugation. Now let us pass on to novels. What is a novel? A novel is a long fictional narrative which describes intimate human experiences. It's a long fictional narrative which describes intimate human experience. The novel in the modern era usually make use of a literary prose style. You know about modern poems or modern novels, and usually make use of a literary prose style. Yeah, so what is a novel is very important question as a part of end semester examination. What is a poem, what is a novel, etc. You should know. A novel is a long fictional narrative which describes intimate human experiences. The novel in the modern era usually make use of a literary. You know my story, the famous poet Kamala Das, autobiography of Indian author. The book was originally published in Malayalam titled as Ende Katha. This is an autobiography. Another is included in your curriculum, and that is why I presented it as a part of this suggested poem and autobiography For critical review, you can select any of these. And The English Teacher is a novel written by R.K. Narayan. It is a part of a series of novels and a collection of short stories set in Malgudi. Read this novel and prepare a critical appreciation by discussing various aspects of the novel. This is the suggested activity. Two activities are suggested in your curriculum. One is My Story by Kamala Das, and the English Teacher. It is a novel written by R.K. Narayan. It's a part of series of novels and a collection of short stories set in Malgudi. So you are expected to write critical appreciation of these suggested and read this novel, English Teacher, and prepare a critical appreciation by discussing the various aspects of the novel that we discussed. Another important novel is Adventures of Huck Finn. It is quite familiar to all of you by Mark Twain. Adventures of Huck Finn. So that is equal to the Adventures of critical appreciation. You will be able to try the critical appreciation by by understanding the idea. Now, critical versions of narrative, specifically a prose. Events to characters are largely imaginary, or else it is left open. Now think about critical appreciation. You must exposed, which are exposed in a story. We are exposed in a story. The characters, who are the characters in the story. Then we think of the second one. It is exposed. That one, that is the character. That means the child and the happen. So then the occasion, then are the characters in story? Malda, Mahadevan. That is the location, the forest. Which is the things to be exposed to location, tree, time, events. Even there may be so many events. And that I told you, if there is cohesiveness only, if we can feel the story, we can watch it, or we can enjoy the story in a pleasurable way. So expositions are there. Now, second is how are you how are you attracted to a story? Suppose if you are daily watching a serial, and it's open at a particular time because you want to see the serial. Why? Because there are a lot of conflicts in it. Conflicts, events where dramatic events are there. And actually, the story will catch the emotional punch is very important. And we know any story has a climax. Any story has a climax. The unforeseen twist of the story, that is climax. And lastly, a resolution. There is resolution is there. Sometimes the end of the story. It may be a tragic end, a comic end, and thematic conflicts. And thirdly, climax, the unseen twist in the story. We know we think about the major Malayalam films that you like the most. The reason maybe you like climax, simply analyze the film that you like the most. There are certain my laptop has a running out of battery charge. It will be okay soon. Okay. Now I told you about the any story, any novel, even any poem also. These things, the exposition, the conflicts, the climax, and the resolution. As a beginners of teachers, student teachers, you should analyze the characters first. A simple story, sometimes you may be taking a simple story, but record the characters and register the characters well. And think about the place of happening. I told you it is the location. Then think about the conflicts in the story, the dramatic changes of emotional, very vibrant situations in the story, the conflicts, and then finally the climax and the resolution. So then only you will be able to write any critical appreciation, because this help you to understand the discourse, novel, story very well. Any. So then only you can write a critical appreciation of any kind. Now we are coming to the it is also given as an area in your uh, syllabus. You know what is a talk show. And this is simply a chat show. We are quite familiar with, even in our television channels. They have changed the style of their reading news sessions. They have improved a lot. Some channels are using the augmented realities. And the talk shows becoming more and more easier in online platforms because so many facilities, so many advancements have been taken place in the area of this telecasting. And a talk show or chat show is a television programming or a radio programming genre in which one person or a group of people discuss various topics put forth through a talk show host. You may listen to Asianet News. I am not advocating for that. You may watch 24. You may watch News 18. You may watch any channel, Malayalam Manoram, any channel. They are giving more importance. Even I think 24 News has introduced reporters as MLAs as reporters. Our MLAs are acting as reporters for particularly popularizing their activities in their constituency. And talk show, there will be a host, and there will be an interaction between the presenter as well as the host. It's very interesting. And you conduct a talk show with your colleagues, your teachers, your principals, and even you can conduct organized talk shows. So you can arrange for simple radio programming. Now it is very, you're all in through is an important because and you can take up a topic, select a topic where you have the examination, and you can conduct a online talk show, WhatsApp, or a online talk show through this medium, YouTube also. Any media, any online medium you can use for benefiting a talk show. So these are actually the outline of the 4 units yesterday and today. We have gone through the 4 units included in your DLED part 404 semester 4. So thank you all for listening me very patiently, and the comments are so sophisticated, comments are so visited. They are me, and I may take this opportunity to extend my sincere gratitude to the organizers of Alappuzha, and all my beloved teacher trainees. I wish you all the success for your coming examination. Stay safe by keeping social distancing, wearing mask. I was also using the mask, but only for the time being I removed it from my face. And I once again extend my extend my gratitude to all my colleagues and my beloved students. Thank you all.